No, I mean, we posted it. I know you had reacted to it when I talked about it on social, but now we didn't talk about it. But yeah, that was interesting. And I wish we could talk about it because of what has come out about them. That's really interesting.
Listen, DraftKings and this other thing. Go ahead and bring it up. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say the word, but I'm gonna put it up
Okay.
here.
So just based on what I understood, is there's a company that does like they're professional short sellers, and they put out a report saying that DraftKings has like some association with organized crime. That's allegedly. And so they were saying that because of that alleged accusation, they felt like, DraftKings was kind of maybe exposing their subscribers. I don't know if you want to call it their members to maybe some nefarious activities. And so they felt like that meant that the stock should be shorted. And so we came out that morning, it sold off a little bit, but it kind of recovered over the day. Because a lot of people were saying that, it's not unusual for organized crime to be involved in the gambling space. So they're like, that's not even news to us. So it was very interesting that came out about them. So we want to kind of see if they have some legs. But I remember when that came out that morning. And what we're seeing with a lot of these professional short sellers is that when they put reports out, the stock goes up because people come in and buy the dip, just like Curtis talked about.
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen again. One of
Okay.
the so these coins, and they be calling them S coins, and it kind of cracks me up. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm not gonna say the word, but I feel like they just be doing anything. Here you go. So this is one of the. Whoops, let me go right page. Let me see. Here you go. This is the name of one of the coins.
Okay, I hear you.
And I looked at the article, and I'm like, I know when they were typing the article, they were like, "Y'all play too much."
Yeah.
So if you actually go Google this financial, I'm just say P financial, the articles on it have been, exactly what you think. Do you like, and it's just been cutting up. So right now it's got 168,000 US dollars in it, and it's been going up, but it came about because of the DraftKings conversation. One of these coins, like, where is this money going? Over here, if you look at DraftKings, this is the 5-day right here.
Yeah.
This is the month. Okay. This is the 6 month. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. This is the year to date. It's green, but the last 6 months have been bloody red.
Yeah.
Year to date green, 1 year, 5 year.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, so this is the thing. One, I'm not a sports gambler.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand the appeal of sports gambling and sports wagering. So I know there's a massive market there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I understood their value proposition. I understood their business model. And I like the fact that they were able to launch kind of got a lot of traction before COVID as the sporting activity would start to pick back up.
Mm-hmm.
They just got to try to figure out how to get people, I don't know if you'll call them members or subscribers, or to do business with them. And then kind of like, what's their sticking power. But when you see people like Art buying it up on the dip, we think it can have some legs. It was a SPAC. I'm not a big fan of SPACs, but it doesn't mean that they're all not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, we know that any kind of sports wagering, especially international, it does have some connection to organized crime. It doesn't make it negative. It is what it is. So I don't necessarily know if that short report is an indictment of that particular company. But one thing I do know about the sports wagering space is that it's an addiction. It's similar to, it's an addiction. So if you can get somebody to become a customer of your particular platform, it's very unlikely that they stop doing their activity because it's kind of like they're addicted to it. So I'm a fan of the model because the lifetime value of the customer in that space is very, very long. It has a very extended value. That's kind of how Vegas makes their money. So they just got to kind of figure out what their value proposition and what makes them different. And then what areas are they going to allow wagering in or activity in, and how does that appeal to their buyer? Because here's another name. There's a company that I know a lot of people gamble through, and they're not publicly owned. I think they're called Bovado. And they're really big, but they're not publicly owned. And I know a lot of people that utilize that because, like I said, is that sports wagering is addictive to a lot of people. I mean, I know people that play parlays and all that kind of stuff. I never got into it because it's not my thing, though.
Well, part of what I'm a libertarian. I know everybody thinks I'm super conservative here. I'm all no harm, no foul. And people, if you do not provide a space for people to do things, they will take it underground and it will be dangerous for everybody else.
Exactly.
So when you had bookies on the corner, you had local shark money folks, you had people going to bingo halls, right? When you had when we talked about this before, the South will rather cut its nose off than to let y'all play bingo every day, right? You can only play it on Saturday. Don't you play it on the Lord's Day, right? And the casinos that are opening up, people are like, oh, casinos bring crime. No. It's not that casinos bring crime. The fact that people have been suppressed from doing these activities is what makes the uptake in crime.
Exactly.
You will always have people who gamble with their life, with the gambling, dice on corners. They'll do the chicken fighting games. They'll do dog fighting. You know, I mean, if you look at what Michael Vick was convicted of, it wasn't all about animal cruelty. It was about money.
Yeah, it was.
And people really missed that whole point. They're like, oh, Michael Vick went to jail for 2 years for animal cruelty. No. He went to jail because it was money being made out there. Hundreds of people out there, and the government don't like it when you make money and they can't track it. Okay?
Exactly.
So,
you're 100% correct.
So a lot of people miss that part of the story, and that's all I was just trying to get people to understand, that like this is all money. Like everything that you can think of, it goes back to money, and people do everything they can to avoid money. And this is just another way to make money. Like people watch sports games and they want to bet on them. Yeah. The more you suppress that, the more people go to Vegas. Like I'll talk to people right now. Why are you going to go to Vegas? Oh, I just love it. I love it. I love Vegas. And I start talking to people. I'm like, what do you? Oh, I go bet when I go. Oh, you like horses? No, I don't like horses. They like betting. Yeah. They like betting. And so when you suppress people's ability to do something, that's why it goes crazy. I mean, say what you will. Why do we have such bad human trafficking? Because we penalize prostitution in America. Yeah. You know, which it just is what it is, right? You made a really good video on trick nature, and so I shared that a lot everywhere. But yeah, that's real. That's real. It's real. Yeah, and I agree with you with the it's a trick. Yes, it is a spirit. It is a spirit. Yeah, it's a gambling spirit too. So you gotta allow some kind of outlet. One thing I've always told people, and I don't want to sidetrack the conversation, is that I don't think you can create a society where you get rid of vice. I just think like you said, you just push it on the ground. So there's going to be some level of vice in the society because it's part of human nature, and you can't expect everybody. Like I don't believe in this Puritan society because a lot of times it's very contradictory. It's very hypocritical a lot of times. So what you can do is try to figure out how can we manage it and regulate it in some way where we can try to make it as safe as possible, allow the public to benefit from it, and then also provide services to people if they kind of get out of bounds with it. And then just understand that it's just part of going to be a small segment of our economy. So I'm all for the gambling because I remember years ago you had the online poker. For some reason, the federal government came really hard against those guys. They had to move a lot of their operations overseas. They had issues with banking, things of that nature. And I really think they should bring all of that back and just allow people to figure out how to build models around it that everybody can benefit from it. Because like me, I would never go on those platforms. But if somebody else wants to go on it because that's what they want to do with their money, I'm all for it. For sure. And again, people, my friend watches 600 Pound Life, and I'd be like, girl, stop watching that. That's depressing. You watch somebody kill themselves. That's what people do with drinking. That's what people do with some of these activities, just slowly. So I think in the South, my uncle has said this. He's like, the reason you have so many fat people in the South is because they can't do nothing else, right? They can't go gamble. They can't go do this. They can't go over there. And so they eat themselves to death. And I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever heard. But as an adult now, I understand what he was talking about. So this is the Sophie you guys see, that we were talking about. It's $23 right now. That's a 1 day. Let me see if I can move it to the 5 day. This is the 5 day. Okay. Huh? Yeah. I've seen it's a personal finance company. Mm-hmm. And like when I think we've done a video on it here. Again, I'm moving some of the stuff over to the other channel, but it's going to take a minute. The Sophie gives out loans. So I think I might have heard of them on one level. Okay. Right now, revenue is $547 million in 2018. Sophie, their subsidiaries, is Sophie Lending, Sophie Wealth. What's the other ones? Gallo Processing, Zen Bank. Oh, they give loans on some of the like PayPal. You know how PayPal give you loans when you buy something? They do that too over here. If you have Stripe, Sophie. If you have
Okay.
Stripe and Sophie, when they give you the loan on your money, if you are like in the space like I am, that's what's giving you money.
It's
Peer
gonna
to
be
peer
Sophie.
companies, yeah, Sophie.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Stripe supposed to be going public later this year.
Stripe better give me another loan. That's why I feel like Stripe ain't giving no more loans. See, Stripe gave my friend 50K, gave my other
Okay.
friend 100K. They gave me 27. I was like, what's this? Right. And then they came back with a bigger offer. And I didn't take it at the time. And now they ain't offering nobody nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I knew it. I knew it was coming. So that's Sophie, if you guys want to. And again, the reason I like talking about these is because there's stories behind these companies. It's
Yeah.
not always the dollar part. And what ends up happening is people are so being careful. People like, I gotta make money off this. I gotta make money right now. That they lose the whole perspective to see a year from now, 5 years
Exactly.
from now. Hey, like when you really own businesses, like I can have a business not make money for a month and not die, right? And not like, oh my God, I'm dead in the water. What you have to have is you have to know seasons of business, and you also have to know, okay, what's the numbers I need for this to break even and be profitable? Great.
Okay.
So to me, if somebody gets pressed and want to sell $23 worth of a share, I don't understand that. I don't understand. That don't make no sense to me. I'd rather go out and get another $23.
I feel
But
you.
that's just me. like I'm gonna just go get another $23. I don't need to sell this regardless to do it. So this is the 5 year right here. Of course, they ain't got 5 years. They really only got when did they go public? On here. Oh, they've been on here like a year, right? Since December 4th, I think so. From
Okay.
$10 to 23. So it's hard.
Okay.
You really don't have a long track record to study it.
Yeah. So you probably getting there, kind of close to the bottom. Yeah. So that would probably be like a 5-year hold minimum,
Mm-hmm.
and just see how they continue to build it out, because those type of platforms, kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily call it the peer-to-peer lending space, but a lot of the more what I would call personal lenders are starting to
Mm-hmm.
become a lot more popular, because you got to figure out a way to get to people that a lot of times don't have traditional banking, or to
Mm-hmm.
merchants and things of that nature that don't have relationships with traditional banks that you can just reach out to them.
I think that's what that to me, if you pay attention to the peer-to-peer lending space, they've gone heavy to the merchant cash advance space. I'm trying to so
Yeah.
everybody follows. Don't get lost. People that have Shopify accounts, people that have Stripe accounts, people that have PayPal accounts, people that have a couple of accounts out there, payment processors will give you money based off of the numbers your company is making, right?
Okay.
So if you're doing 25,000 in a month, they'll turn around and give you 25,000. That's no problem because
Yeah.
they know that you'll make it, and they'll just take 14%, anywhere from 14 to 18% of your future money until it's paid back for
Okay.
very low interest rates. Tell me where you can go to a bank tomorrow and be like, hey, I made 25 last month. Can I get 25 from y'all? Nah, I
Yeah.
can't do that. We can't do that. So when the bank started to be resistant to that loan amounts, this is where they came in and made all their money.
Yep.
Every business that you ever see comes in to close a gap, essentially, right? So I know people right now who, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Their parents have a restaurant. I don't know how the restaurant stay open. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But what their cousin showed me is like, oh, the restaurant at one point did, like $100,000 every month, so they could get loans, which really were merchant cash advance loans, where they got to pay on them daily sometimes, or different ones they pay on weekly. And they got so big in the loan side of things that their daddy bought other stuff, or their daddy bought a food truck, and these Hispanic guys run the food truck, or their daddy bought this over there and it runs this. And so, yeah, this main business, and this is where we go back into the zombie business talk. The main business may not be that strong anymore, but once they got the cash, if you're smart, you can go put it where you need to put it.